Hello, everyone. I'm Jingxian, a pianist and associate professor of the Shanghai Conservatory of Music, piano department. What you just heard was the beginning melody of the Chinese piano piece, Flower Drum. Let's close our eyes and travel back to 1946, 80 years ago, to stand on the land of Heilongjiang, alongside the young composer Qu Wei. At that time, he was deeply moved by the vibrant scenes of joyous celebrations filling the streets, with drums and gongs echoing everywhere. Soldiers and civilians rejoicing together in the festive spirit. Inspired, he composed this short yet groundbreaking piece in the history of Chinese piano music, Flower Drum, Huagu. This piece became one of the early masterpieces in the nationalization of Chinese piano music. This work successfully uses the Western piano to vividly portray the fervor of Chinese folk traditions. To this day, it remains widely popular among piano students and performers, a timeless classic. The flower drum is an important member of China's percussion family, and you can see its appearance in the images on screen. In the context of Chinese culture, the flower drum is often associated with festivities, celebration, and collective song and dance performances. Traditionally, it serves as an accompanying instrument, working in harmony with singing, dancing, and other instruments to create a joyous atmosphere. In this piece, structured in ABA form, composer Qu Wei masterfully creates stark emotional contrasts. Section A is lively and spirited, imitating the rhythmic patterns of the flower drum and traditional percussion. Section B transitions into a lyrical passage with long, flowing melodic lines. The composer not only skillfully transplants the rhythmic vitality of the flower drum into the piano sound, but also incorporates two distinct Anhui folk songs. Section A draws inspiration from Fenyang flower drum, while Section B adapts the melody of the widely beloved jasmine flower. Anhui, located in eastern China, is a culturally rich province abundant with folk songs. The folk song Fenyang flower drum is known for its crisp rhythms and lively, energetic spirit, often used in festive performances. Meanwhile, the folk song Jasmine Flower is a gentle, graceful melody that conveys delicate emotions. By juxtaposing and developing these two themes, composer Qu Wei creates a vivid music tapestry on the piano, one that balances movement and stillness, intensity and subtlety. To perform this piece, the key lies in capturing the vitality of its rhythm. Take care to avoid rigid precision that might sound mechanical. Instead, control the ebb and flow of the rhythm, allow it to breathe naturally. For example, the opening notes, which mimic the striking of drums and gongs, should be played with elasticity and vigor, as vivid as real percussion. Throughout the piece, appropriate use of rubato can make the music flow more flexibly and naturally. When the melody of Jasmine Flower emerges in the middle section, focus on achieving a smooth, song-like legato touch to shape the beautiful and melodious singing line. What needs to be specially mentioned is that this version of Jasmine Flower evolved from the internationally familiar melody of the same tune. Okay, let's start with the piece. At the beginning of the piece, you already feel the drum beats that's already on the piano. Okay, Okay, when we play the 16th notes, I would recommend not to play it too precise way, rather in a very snappier way, so that the sound and the music will more lively. And also in Chinese interpretation, there's a lot of space that you can make during the music. For example, if you play a 16 notes downward, I would suggest to make a little crescendo and to make a little bit stringento so that it have a perfect connection with the next accords. Okay, after that, the Fenyang flower drum, the Anhui folk song melody appears. And then you can find a lot of syncopation on the score. We can emphasize the syncopation a little bit so that it will make the music more joyous, so you can listen. And you can use also a little bit more staccato when you play the octave. And then the whole atmosphere will be more light and happier. So you can find two themes. One is on the right hand, the other is on the left hand. So you can feel the power is very strong in the section A. But compared to the section A, the section B is quite different because the composer used a different Anhui folk song, which called Jasmine Flower. I mentioned before, the Jasmine Flower is internationally renowned melody. So you can hear here is evolution of this melody. Imagine a very beautiful lady that half hidden behind the wall, and she's very shy, so the music shouldn't go very straightforward. Instead, it should be a little bit more like wandering around, so the sound will make a little bit softer and beautiful. You can see on the score there are twice that we have to play the melody twice, which means we can also use when we play Western classic pieces, when we see there is a repetition, after that, the second time should be slightly different, so that we can get a totally different feeling. I would recommend the first time we can play it in a very precise way, which means that do not do too much rubato or anything in it. So that everyone can very clearly to listen, to know, oh, okay, this is the Jasmine Flower, the melody. And the second time we can do a little bit music variation, like right? So this is the two different feelings that you created. I would recommend, if we return to the section A, we should not start with a very loud sound because we still have a long way to go. to the end of the piece. So we need to carefully calculate and carefully think about how we make the piece stronger and stronger. So after the Anhui jasmine flower, we return again to the section A. So I would recommend not to play it in a very loud sound because we still have a long way to go. So we start with the forte. And then followed coming is the fortissimo part. And we finished the piece in the presto tempo. So if we look these three different elements, volumes, we can already know that this piece is gradually going into a very joyous and happiest atmosphere. So we should carefully plan and we should carefully think about how we can gradually make the music more intense. I think if you can make the big contrast between the two different Chinese elements, like the Fenyang flower drum and the jasmine flower, the two different Anhui folk songs, and to make the drum beats correctly on the piano, I think you already win the piece. Now let's return to the present day. No matter how times change, the Chinese people's deep and passionate emotions during this time of family reunions, festivals, and celebrations of prosperity remains unwavering. Revisiting Flower Drum during the Chinese Spring Festival allows us to profoundly convey, through music, our attachment to home and to our connection to cultural roots. The arts are a booger core for the advancement of an era most capable of representing its spirit and leading its trends. Flower Drum is precisely such a work. It was born from the soil of people's lives, encapsulating the joy of a nation while also showcasing the life and charm of Chinese music as it innovates through fusion.